It's another beautiful Sunday afternoon. This is Rubbin Minds. Welcome. My name is Ebuka Obiuchi, and thanks a lot for joining us. Christmas is around the corner. It's our last show before the 25th of December, where we'll be celebrating Christmas again. It's a very unusual December for a lot of people, not just in Nigeria, but across the world. Most cities and countries are going back into lockdown again, or some sort of lockdown. In Lagos State in particular, we've heard the Lagos State governor talk about the fact that certain social gatherings and establishments will have to be closed completely until further notice, and schools are not allowed to open until further notice. Religious organizations have been told, given a time limit, and there's so many rules of engagement that seem to be coming back up, and people are worried about a permanent lockdown coming up again in Lagos State because of the spike in numbers of coronavirus infections. But there's some good news at the end of the tunnel. The vaccine seems to be shipping across the world. A lot of countries are receiving it. We just saw earlier today that the Prime Minister of Israel was the first to take the vaccine in Israel. So it's slowly getting here, hopefully. We don't know when it's going to come to Nigeria, or if, which of them we'll be getting, because there's so many of these vaccines. We hear there's some from China, which are not even part of the two that are very famous now. So fingers crossed 2021 is definitely going to be much better than 2020 has been. I'm being joined in the studio by two people who are going to be talking about, COVID and December and just how this affects everything we've done this year. Dr. Uju Ugwigwe, thanks for being here today. And Ipidapo Fashina, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
How has the year been for you? Let me start with that.
Well, 2020 has been that year.
Yeah. Now, I was like, because some people have actually said it's been one of their best years with regards to introspection. Some businesses thrived more this year. Medical doctors were very busy. So...
Well, yeah, 2020 has been that year, and I would say maybe I'm one of the few people that would say it has been one of my best years because I did something different. I was on the front line. Of course, I probably earned more money, but yeah, it's been a year. It's been a good year. I mean, other than the pandemic, it's been a good year personally.
What about for an entrepreneur like you? What was different, or how different was it?
Well, I think it's quite interesting. That's the word I'll use to describe 2020, and it brought out fresh opportunities actually, and it also closed some. So it was about maximizing the opportunities that came with the pandemic that we were facing. So like Doctor said, averagely it's okay.
Yeah, and December is here now. I mean, it's usually our favorite time of the year, especially in Nigeria. Families are traveling. Lagos is unusually dark because you have certain streets that are usually lit, at this time. We've heard from the Lagos State governor, about, the new rules that are being put in place here. As a medical practitioner and a public health consultant, how significant is that, especially in this time?
Well, we like Christmas in this part of the world, and we like to party. I mean, we're very cultural people, family and everything. Yeah. It's this year the difference is clear. The street lights are not lit, the popular ones we know. And it's, even though some people are not happy about it, especially with the new restrictions, not a total lockdown yet, with the new restrictions, people are not happy, but it's for the good. The numbers are spiking, and they are for real. They are really, really for real. I know that for sure. Seeing patients, and they are for real. So it's even though it's not the way we would like to celebrate Christmas, but it's better we do. This year, let's just celebrate Christ rather than celebrate ourselves.
And life, maybe.
Yeah, and life, really. I think we should just celebrate Christ this year and just have it, quiet.
I like the fact that you're talking about celebrating heroes, and we're going to talk about, all of those who have been great in the COVID fights and all of that. Many Nigerians have fought back the conversation that there's a virus. Meanwhile, a lot of Nigerians have also given up their time to educate other Nigerians on what COVID-19 is. We had people who started on certain initiatives, to support people with COVID, whether it was with food drives. There are people who supported education. There were so many things that were done this year. A lot of food rallies. Why do you think was so important why do you think that was so important at this time, at a time like this?
All right, I think that, of course, the pandemic, it's a global thing. Yeah. So it wasn't common to Nigeria. But I think it amplified some deteriorating situations we have here already, like the health system and some emergency services and the economy itself. we had a bit of frustrations in the country. The lockdown, much trade wasn't going on, so the country wasn't really making money like that. And then the harsh economic reality on people forced them. So at a point, it was, are they going to go outside and contract COVID or stay indoor and die of hunger? So it now became which to choose. And so I belong to a WhatsApp group. And interestingly, the discussion just sprang up on the WhatsApp group. And okay, what can we do to ameliorate the situation? And then we just said, okay, let's see if we can make some financial donations and start up something. And that WhatsApp group actually contains a bit of mighty and fresh, brilliant Nigerians that actually mean so well for the country. So in the space of 4 days, about 5.2 million naira was actually raised, and just on the group. And a committee was even created from the group, a subcommittee on the WhatsApp group. And all this was done without physically meeting each other on the WhatsApp group. So it's the new leaders group, actually. And so we created a committee. I was actually part of the subcommittee for the COVID fund. And then 5.2 million, we divided into food items, food relief items, and medical consumables, medical supplies. So we did that, 2.5 million for food, 2.5 million for medical supplies. Then the medical supplies we donated to NCDC for their isolation, the treatment centers both in Yaba and Guagalada. And then the food items, we looked at Etiosa, because then Etiosa local government in Lagos, when the state government brought out a division of the list, we found out that Etiosa had high number of the COVID cases. So we looked at Etiosa, then we also looked at Amuwo Dofin local government area because of the Abule Ado explosion then. So we felt that, okay, those two communities should be priority if we want to give out food relief items. And what we did was to budget 10,000 naira per family. So it was like giving 250 people, budgeting 10,000 naira per family.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of initiative came about, even as president of the Medical Student Association in Lagos State University. As a medical student group, we also came about a drive from our pocket, to pay if we can donate some relief items. And we did that to our mother institution, that's Lasut. And then we gave out 500 pieces of face masks and some surgical gloves too. So I think it's been awesome. Most importantly, individuals have come out to know that individual responsibility at this time is actually what we need to win the battle against COVID.
So I hear you, and there were so many other things that were done. I think there was a gift on Modiale who launched a local language support initiative, COVID-19 project, in response to the wave of unconfirmed, as well as there was a lot of misinformation, when COVID started. And I think what they did were, putting out information in our local languages, to make people understand what was at stake a little better. We had people who were sharing hand sanitizers. These were companies and, individuals even. There was so much that was done. For a public health person, was there anything in particular that you wanted to see that, delighted you the most, about, sort of the spirit of giving and, people who were just doing great things and being heroes through this? What stood out for you the most?
I think we really came together and then, a lot of people did a lot of things. Yeah. So I don't know that there was so much more that could have been done. What we could afford to do, people really put their heads together and their resources together to do. However, maybe we should have. I think it was more for me about the passing information and educating people more, because the average man on the street did not even believe there was a virus in the first place. Yeah. So it's only when somebody believes there's a virus that they're going to use the sanitizers and the face mask and the everything. So I think what we could have done better, even though we, a lot was done, was information, education. Yeah. So I think that's what I would think would have, we should have done better.
I think the ultimate heroes were actually doctors, working through this and, risking their lives every day. What sort of personal stories did you hear, from, people who were working through this? There was a lockdown, but they had to go to work every day. It was almost like every day came with this new challenge for a virus or a disease that most people had no idea about. We're figuring it out as we went along,
So I would say my own personal
yes,
story.
I was good. I didn't want to say. I didn't know if you had a personal story. That's what I said.
So at the beginning of the lockdown and the height of this, I worked in an isolation center. I worked in a TOSA isolation center at the time, even though it's shut down now. On the front line, the ICU, particularly the ICU of the TOSA isolation center. It was in April. We were employed. Okay, let's do this. It was adventurous for me because I liked the fact I was going to do something new, something different. We were just
you were not scared at the time?
I wasn't. When I was leaving home, because we had to leave home, we had to be accommodated somewhere. When I was leaving home, I just said, well, who knows? I may come back, I may not come back. Let's see how it goes. Of course, my family initially were like, are you sure? My parents were like, but I left anyways. And it was interesting. I must say, it was very, very interesting. And I applaud the frontline workers in Lagos, particularly in the TOSA Isolation Center, to all my colleagues that work there. Because we all went, at that time, today you hear one thing, tomorrow you hear another thing about the virus, and tomorrow. So we didn't know what we were going to, but we just went. Yeah. So I applaud them because it was a great experience. I call it, when people ask me about my experience, I call it the good, the bad, and the ugly. There was a good side. Yeah, we met new people. We probably were paid a little bit more than the average Nigerian doctor. Not as though it was that fantastic compared to the risk of the job. Yeah. The bad, some of us fell ill. Some of us really fell ill. Some of us caught the virus. And I fell ill. And then there was the ugly when some of us really felt terribly ill. Yeah. And then when you see patients dying as well, I think that was one of the saddest.
How do you deal with, the denial of it? There's a huge thing in Nigeria where people don't think it's a real virus or it's not strong enough. So I've heard people say cough not the key person. They literally don't think it's that serious. Have you had patients like that, for example, who just say, no, this can't be me? Your diagnosis is wrong. How do you handle situations like that?
Truth is, it's difficult. At this point, I just tell people, you know what? Obviously, I thank God for whatever it is that is protecting us in Nigeria. Nigerians, we always say God. Maybe it's a God factor, but whatever is making the strain of virus that is affecting us not to be as bad as it is in Europe and America. Yeah. Thank you, Jesus, for that. But
it doesn't mean it's any.
It doesn't mean it's any. It's when people say no or in denial. It's so hard to, where do you start from? I've seen this, I've seen people die, I've seen people, and then you really think it's not real. Oh, some people say, it's just like malaria, it's malaria. Yes, the symptoms may be similar to malaria, but there is COVID and it is killing people. Yeah. The best you can do is just to continue to educate them and inform them. That's, you can't do so much more than that.
I completely agree. So, poverty has always been a pandemic or an epidemic, let me use that word, in Nigeria. But it's probably been amplified, by, what we've seen this year. I was also part of a food drive, and it was shocking to see the numbers of people, and sometimes even the kinds of people who needed food. People you would have thought on a good day could handle this. What worried you the most, or what have you learned, coming out of this and, looking into the future to say, okay, these people are not going to suddenly start finding food after the lockdown ended or after the pandemic goes away. What sort of reality hit you with what you saw this year?
Well, I think the reality that hits me is actually the situation of the nation, actually, as we speak. So a mentor once told me that if your neighbor is hungry, your chicken is not safe. And, we are living, the difference between the rich and the poor is gradually, widening. The gap is more widening. And then you find out that even if you have money, you are surrounded by people that actually really do not have that purchasing power. So I think it was extremely, extremely interesting to see the number of people that came out to come and get food drive. We witnessed the whole palliative thing, so I think these are effects of. I think these are effects
That's taking on a whole new meaning now.
Yeah, no, I'm even talking about the lootings actually.
Exactly. Just the word palliative now is such a.
I'm talking about the lootings actually. Yes. So you even see areas like Lekki that are actually where you feel that these are places where people that are comfortable live in Lagos, but they are surrounded by people that are so close to also still disrupt the peaceful living there. So I think it brought out the reality at hand that we're actually the poverty capital of the world. and a lot of people are actually living less than $10 a day.
Yeah.
So it's quite unfortunate.
So there's a fear that people were really stretched this year. I mean, a lot of people who were doing these drives and donations and all of that. People were not necessarily earning as much as they would have on a good day. So people were really stretched. Now there's a second wave apparently. We don't know if there's going to be a second lockdown, but I mean Lagos is halfway there for a lot of people. What do you see happening? I mean, how are people going to be able to keep this up? Because the hungrier people are going to be around, the more there's a likelihood of, things escalating. Are you worried about, people being able to still support, if at all we get to that?
It's going to be quite difficult, and I think what Lagos State government has done is what they should do actually, just the effects that can lessen the situation of things and encourage reduced movements and things like that. So, because I don't see another total lockdown being of any good to us in Nigeria at this point in time. The molecular virologists will tell us if we are dealing with a different strain of COVID-19. That's the second wave. If it's going to be a different strain, okay, that's another fresh topic entirely. But if the clinicians still feel that, okay, the first wave and the second wave, no much difference clinically from what people are presenting with, maybe we can tackle it the same way we tackled the first wave. But I feel that the government needs to do more in terms of supporting, because even the businesses that opened for the few period of time, how many of them have enough profit to even say they want to support again during the second wave? So business, exactly.
Companies are,
so many people are cutting down staffs and things like that. So if we are not careful, it could be really, really adverse for the country.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're here to celebrate. You guys have done amazing things. Thank you very much for all you've done, with regards to supporting Nigerians and keep putting yourselves on the line pretty much, for things to get better. And we're just celebrating heroes, like we said, people who have done great things through 2020. Now, starting tomorrow, Lipton and Knorr will give exceptional individuals on behalf of their customers. This means consumers can nominate someone they are thankful for this year, and Lipton and Knorr will reward and the nominated individual with a gift. Simply to participate, just tag whoever your hero is at Lipton and at Knorr Nigeria. Don't forget the hashtag is Season of Thanks to stand a chance to win a gift for that special person that you are thankful for. Once again, the handles are at Lipton and at Knorr Nigeria. We'll continue to celebrate those who have done great things through these times, and thank you very much for everything you've done. And please stay safe.
Thank you very much.
I mean, the second wave, we believe, some people say that it's not even the second wave, just a continuation of what we had. Because, I mean, it wasn't as crazy as you said, in other parts of the world, but Nigeria has never really completely tapered down. So we just hope people, like we say in Nigeria, catch brain and stay safe and do the right thing. We're going to take a break and be right back. Please don't go away. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, we've been giving you all the tea and seasoning coming your way this Christmas. Lipton and Knorr, they're bringing some Christmas cheer to you. We understand that 2020 has been a tough one for everybody, and there are people who have given so much of themselves to keep us going, and keep us safe. But also, most importantly, Lipton and Knorr are going to be giving back. All you need to do is nominate someone you think has been a hero through 2020, whether through food drives, it could be a medical personnel or a frontline worker, it could be someone in your community who you think was just taking care of people. Just tag them, someone who has been a hero in your life, at Lipton or at Knorr Nigeria, and the person you nominate could easily just, be walking away with a nice gift from Lipton and Knorr. But we're going to talk about some Christmas memories. It's been a very strange year around the world, and particularly in Nigeria. And like I said, December in Lagos feels very different. It's not dirty at all. It's a very, very something I would call it a endemic December, short for pandemic. And we've heard that social gatherings and establishments have also now been shut down completely just in time for Christmas. So you're going to have to spend Christmas in your living rooms and hopefully just staying safe. I'm joined now by Miss Pepper, who's a content creator. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
You look very good. You look like 2020 has been very good to you.
Well, to be honest, like the first 7 months in 2020, it was terrible.
Yes.
But things started picking up towards the end, from October. Gigs just come. I'm like, yeah.
So what exactly do you do so we understand why things have been coming?
Okay, so minus the content creator part, I trade. I'm a presenter. I'm an upcoming actor.
Okay.
You get so boy.
So it's like everything. People have been waiting for, because of how quiet the year has been. A lot of people delayed work, and everything is now sort of coming at the same time. But did you notice a difference in how people work now? Because of the pandemic. There are people who are talking about movie scenes being different. People are not allowed to be together at the same time, or some people have actually thrown caution to the wind, which is why we're seeing numbers spiking. What did you notice?
Well, regarding the acting space, right?
Yes.
I can say now things are back to normal. Things are back to normal. But earlier on, like for auditions and stuff, you have to do it online. So that was a different thing, as opposed to going to the venue to go and audition. So that was one different thing. Then, for now, I think...
Does that worry you, though? Because, we're seeing numbers going up.
Yes. I don't know what exactly is even making the numbers go up, because we're still doing the same rubbish we're doing now. Back in like, I'll say July, August, when they first released, when they eased down the lockdown. And the numbers were not this high. But right now, what's the different thing? And maybe because everyone said, I
think, to be honest, I think a lot more people have become careless. We're seeing a lot more parties. We're seeing a lot more social gatherings. We're seeing fewer masks being worn, things like that. So I think a lot of that might...
The funny thing, if you go to like Lagos markets and you wear your mask, they'll literally run away from you.
Because they think you have it.
You have the corona. I'm like, how?
Wow.
I'm just trying to be safe.
Yeah. But talking about Christmas, Christmas growing up, for example, has been, was always a fun time for children. You buy Christmas clothes. There's a special kind of firewood rice that is being prepared. If you're like me, who travels to the East for Christmas, it's like cousins, and you're spending so much time together. People you really love. What was it like for you growing up?
Christmas was actually everything I was always looking forward to.
Yeah.
So we used to go to my village in Kwara, and before my grandma died, she used to do this special package. She would put like money inside envelope. She'll now put it under the tree. So immediately, by like 7, we'll all rush downstairs. We'll now go and open an envelope. You now start looking for your name. Where's my name? Where's my name? When you open it, mint. It will come mint. No, that when you smell money, like, yes. So that's one thing I always look forward to. But when she died like this,
that was it.
That was it. From here, it just started going down. Then, responsibilities like coming in. That you have to even work on Christmas Day sometimes.
Exactly. What has been the biggest difference? I was going to get there. From celebrating Christmas as a child, besides the envelopes, and as an adult, what has been the biggest shift for you mentally to say, wow, okay, this is definitely different from what I thought?
Well, life has hit you. Like before, when you're a kid, you have no problem, you have no worries.
Yeah.
The only problem you have is, the money you want to go and buy a lollipop. That's the only problem.
And they dash you plenty more.
Do you get? So every time, or when you have visitors come over, they say, okay, we just take this for Coke.
Yeah.
But now who wants to do that? Who wants to do that?
Yeah.
So that's like...
And someone said that as well, back in the day, Christmas was about collecting. You're getting money, getting things. Now it's about you giving and spending. The debit alerts never end. If you want to have a good Christmas, you have to actually spend money, to enjoy yourself. With this December in particular now, it's definitely very different. It's a lot quieter now. There's literally no concerts happening. We know how December was last year, where it was, people didn't know what day was, Monday or Friday. It was like Monday to Monday, there was things happening. Completely different this year. How do you think that has affected you? You work in the creative space. Did that hit you in any way? And how do you feel about it? There are people who say they actually prefer this. That Christmas is supposed to be a quiet time and reflective time. But Nigeria has made it this, noisy monster. Which do you prefer?
Can I be honest right now? I think I prefer this.
Okay.
For a funny reason and a very stupid reason. Like, when you have concerts coming, some of us, we don't like to pay for tickets. So you start hustling for say, oh my God, it's good if you do concert.
And you're calling people or trying to gather people to contribute to buy tickets.
You don't have to beg anybody. You're on your own. But minus that, I would say I still like it because it actually, like you said, it actually gives me a time to reflect and be with myself, to actually understand what has, transpired through the months.
Yeah.
And that December period that is always very chaotic, very noisy, you hardly have time with yourself.
Yeah.
But now you actually do have time with yourself. Well, some people. Some people, not everybody, but yeah.
So that's exactly what I was saying, because there are people who say they prefer this. They prefer, the quiet and all of that. But I don't know that a lot of artists will agree, because this is when they make,
But some have collected like part balance, so they're still okay, small.
But it's on like what they're usually used to. I want to talk about, we talked about COVID earlier, and I want to talk about that. Was there anything that you probably got involved in this year with regards to, work or sort of supporting or helping people through this year, or plan to do with December? Because they say December, Happy Christmas is the time for giving. Was there anything that's through the lockdown, pandemic, that hit you that you said, okay, I was going to do, or maybe give more, or, whether it's your family or your community or friends?
The first thing that came to my mind was to appreciate life more before I go into that. Because I always felt like life, let's just go through it. Like I wasn't showing a lot of love to my people. But after this pandemic hit, it made me reassess certain things in my life. Like, are you being an impact to people?
Yes.
People in your life, are you showing them that you actually do care about them, you actually do love them? And regarding giving, I mean, for the first, if I'm going to be honest, I couldn't really do any giving because things were tight. You get?
Yeah, exactly. Most people are not earning
things were
money.
Tight. Like, I can say I just helped like maybe a couple people when I was still getting my salary before the
I mean,
stopped.
that's good enough. Yeah.
But after it entered like deep into the pandemic, I couldn't, to be very honest.
Yeah.
Any small change you get, you will just, keep, because you don't know when next one's will come.
And sometimes the interesting thing is, giving is not even always about money. There are people who were going through a tough time throughout the lockdown. I just needed someone to talk to, or they were, whatever it was. It could have been. It doesn't have to be financial, But I mean, the fact that I even gave anything, I think is great enough. Because most people didn't have anything to even give.
True.
Because most people were not working.
Also, as you said this, when you say people wanted people to talk to, I'll first ask myself, could I talk to myself? I was not okay, Ebuka.
A lot of us weren't.
I was not okay. So imagine not being okay and having to be there for someone else. It wasn't going to be easy.
Yeah.
So that one, I couldn't give.
So how did you come out from not being okay?
So generally, I'm a very happy person. I mean, if you go through my social media, you would think, does this girl have problems?
Yeah.
So at one point, like I kept on talking to myself, like, you cannot let this thing change who you are. You have to, paddle your canoe through this. And one day, obviously praying as well.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, things picked up and I got better.
I mean, I think there was a tweet I saw during the time that said, don't cancel anyone for not checking up on you through this time, because everybody's going through literally the same thing, and you don't know how people are handling theirs. I want to ask an interesting question. Is it possible to still have fun this December and be COVID compliant? And how do you think that can be done? Because there are people who still want to, I mean, during the lockdown, there were all of these apps that people were joining, house party, you would Zoom in and have Zoom parties and all of that. But it still didn't feel like it was, the real thing. Do you think that's what we're going to have to do this time? Or are there other ideas, maybe, of having COVID compliance groups?
If we can have fun and still be compliant. I would say yes and no.
Okay.
Why? Because when you have it in your head that, COVID deal, the way you want to, like, baraje means like when you want to, how do I explain it? When you want to let loose. You can't really let loose like that because they're like, what if this person has COVID? Then you have to come back again. Yeah. It's just, I would say it's dicey. It's dicey.
Just stay at home.
Yeah. yeah. But if you're the social person, I don't know if staying at home can help you so much.
Yeah. So I want to talk about your work now, because you say you're a content creator. What kind of content do you create?
I dance, I do videos.
Okay.
And it's funny how I dance, but I don't call myself a dancer. But I
So you don't dance professionally?
Yeah.
You just love dancing? Okay.
Like since I was 2. So I just do that to show people my joyful side. Because when I dance, oh my God, my worries, leaves me. So I create content for dance and skits, or these comedy skits as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you, I mean, you could have used that during the lockdown, when people were looking for things to do, or were you just not in a space? Because there are people who couldn't just create.
Remember I said I was not okay. Remember I was not okay. But at a point, I think I came out of my shell and I started doing videos, but not as much.
Yeah.
Because you'd have thought that if you're in the space of being alone or you're in your creative space, you can create and create and create.
Yeah.
But that lockdown period was off. It was off. I couldn't create anything. I was just asking myself, why me? Why me? Why me? Then by the time you now check the numbers on my page, you just realize that I just did how many videos? From February to when? Nah, man.
So are we expecting any special Christmas content, maybe? Since you probably are switched back on.
I don't have our content yet. I'm chasing after the money.
But doesn't content bring money, though?
It does, actually, but that's not the kind of money I'm looking for right now.
Okay.
That's not the kind of money I'm looking for.
So
maybe
you're focusing more on the acting and all of that.
Yeah, trading and stuff.
I wanted to talk about, we have a clip to play, and if you're just joining us, we're talking about, Christmas cheer and the great things about Christmas and how 2020 has changed what December looks like. And of course, Lipton and Noah are going to be giving out gifts to anybody who you think has been a hero through 2020 and the pandemic. And we'll have a clip to show you a little later, about, Nigerians trying to sing a Christmas song, which I find absolutely hilarious. But I want to just have some fun with you. Talking about Christmas, our parents always told us, at least we had people in our parents' generation who would say to you, that rice was not a thing when they were growing up. And only on Christmas Day, that they ate rice. What's the one food you would say reminds you of Christmas? I feel like every house is rice, but what kind of rice?
Do you want to know what my mom says?
Yes.
Eba.
Okay.
Eba and amonu tutu. Whenever we have that dish, you know that something is about to happen.
Was this still your grandmother doing it, or?
No, this was my mom.
Okay.
This was my mom. My grandma's one was amala. Anytime we come,
there was literally no rice in your house.
Rice day.
But you wanted what you wanted.
Swallow was my thing. Anytime we came to Kwara, she would start shouting. She'll say it in Yoruba, but the translation is, people from Lagos have arrived to put on water for amala. It was it was the best.
Yeah.
So maybe back in the day, it was amala. Right now, it's eba and rice.
So it's still eba for you?
Yes.
Why is rice so relegated? Or you eat rice so much during the year that there's nothing special about it?
There's nothing special about rice anymore. Yeah. Is it white? Is it fried rice? Nah.
What's a no-no for Christmas?
No.
As in, what should never be eaten? Some people have said beans nobody should bring beans near them.
I would have said semo, but
yeah, one of those that slander semo.
I don't slander it. I just keep quiet. But right now, I ate semo twice in the last 3 weeks, and I loved it.
So you have been converted?
Yes.
Do you still buy Christmas clothes?
No, I don't. I remember back in the day also when you go buy Christmas clothes, then you now be waiting for, maybe when you're going out by 8 a.m., you now put your clothes, you can't wait to wear it. Once it's time to go out like this, you just go and take your clothes, wear it, and yes.
Settled.
But nah, I don't buy Christmas clothes anymore.
Okay, I think we have a clip to play. We have a clip of Nigerians trying to sing the 12 Days of Christmas song, and I'm sure you're going to enjoy this. Let's take a look.
On the 5th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 5 golden rings.
I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas from the bottom of my heart.
It's Christmas time, Christmas time. It's Christmas time, Christmas time. Glory, hallelujah, hallelujah. Our Savior is born in a little town called Bethlehem. A little king whose name is Jesus Christ. Our Messiah is born today. Glory, hallelujah, hallelujah. Our Savior is born in a little town called Bethlehem. Hallelujah, King whose name is Jesus Christ. Our Messiah is born today.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas from the bottom of my heart.
But I want to wish all my brothers there, sisters there, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
I'm wishing everyone a Happy New Year and Happy Christmas. Thank you.
I wish you a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
I wish you guys Merry Christmas and prosperous New Year.
And I want to wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Happy New Year for everybody. Happy New Year. I do Happy New Year for everybody. Yoruba and Hausa, Igbo, all of them. Congratulations.
This 12 Days of Christmas on Rubbin Minds is brought to you by Knorr and Lipton.
All right, yeah, just a bit of fun there. I think I heard someone say, I want to wish you.
I want to wish. Happy New.
Yes, before we go on a break, just to quickly remind you that starting tomorrow, Lipton and Knorr will gift exceptional individuals on behalf of their customers. This means consumers, you can nominate someone you are thankful for this year, and Lipton and Knorr will reward the nominated individual with a gift. To participate or nominate, post a comment or video on social media about the person and why you are thanking them for the exceptional things they've done or the role they've played in your life, simply by tagging at Lipton or at Knorr Nigeria. Don't forget to use the hashtag Season of Thanks to stand a chance to win a gift for that special person you are thankful for. Before we go on, who are you thankful for this year? Before we go.
My family.
Okay, how so or why so?
Because they've been my backbone through it all,
Yeah.
my down times. So my family.
They were the big support for you throughout 2020. Well, thanks a lot for being here today, and we hope that 2021 is better.
Amen. Oh.
Both creatively, financially, because I know that's very important to you.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much.
We're going to take a break now. I'll be right back. Please don't go away. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, we've been talking all throughout the show today about how you can nominate a hero who's someone you are thankful for in 2020. Thanks to Lipton and Knorr, you can just tag them or press a comment on either of their pages. But that's not all. You can also prepare a special thank you meal for the person who you're thankful for, who has been exceptional for you in 2020. Simply follow at Knorr Nigeria on Instagram to see some naturally tasty recipes that you can use and to flavor your December or your Christmas a little more. We're talking about December, and it's time for us to sort of switch to talking about COVID and December. It's usually the most commercially viable time for Nigerians, but this year is a little different. I'm joined now by a public analyst, Ibito Yolufemi. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Nigerians have had a rough 2020. Some people were hoping that the end of the year would get things to pick up again. We're in a recession. Started looking like October, November, things were almost getting back to some sense of normalcy, but now we're going back into some sort of a lockdown again. How are we going to go through December without what we used to commercially and economically? How can we survive it?
Well, yeah, the truth is COVID-19 has really changed how we work, how we live, and things that are required for us to do our daily routine. And things will never get to normal again. So the truth is, this December, we just have to bear the pain. We hope that by next year, December, we can now, throw caution in the air and try to celebrate. Because, for some of us, we just have to stay back in Lagos without going back to your hometown with the way it used to be. Because there's a spark in, we're talking about the second wave of COVID-19. People need to just be very, very careful so that we just don't get ourselves in more trouble.
Yeah.
Because we've already escaped the first wave with relatively some mad consequences. But if we throw caution in the air, trying, December, I want to get dirty, let's open the cinemas, let's open, just the way it usually be in December, where we've got a lot of shows by a lot of artists, we need to carefully, I always talk about what we need to look at now is alternative consumption strategy so that we can both enjoy our December now and enjoy the subsequent December.
Yeah. But we've talked, there are people who we're not the biggest tourism markets in the world, but there seems to have been do I call it a party tourism market that was starting to build in Lagos? We had people internationally who liked to come to Lagos in December because there was like an endless, partying day after day, concerts, and the impact on the economy was always quite impressive. You would see commercial activity pick up. This year seems to be the exact opposite of that. I mean, we even saw some establishments being clamped down and shut down overnight in parts of Ikeja in Lagos. So I guess specifically, with a recession in sight as well, and this happening, what impact do you think it's going to have?
Well, COVID-19 has had economic and social-economic and political impact on our society. So looking at the way December used to be, okay, yesterday I was in a friend's wedding and the hotel where we lodged, we had like 6 other couples and they said that's the way it used to be. But now with the recent restriction, things have to change. They are just got back fellow, they just need to, some of them are not even coming, they are not even coming again because of the restriction they've got in their home country. So the question is, there's going to be a huge financial implication, both for the economy and for individual, because there are some people that the way they make their money, they make more money in December due to the kind of merchandise they sell. And of course, there's a reduction in that. But if you now looked at it, I think Nigeria is a peculiar society. So, we most times we go against the norms. When you predict that, okay, after A, it should be B. But when you get to Nigeria, when you get to Lagos, you just see that, okay, sometimes it's after A, it goes to F, and, sometimes to G. Because you can still see that here in Lagos, everywhere you go to Lagos for the past 2 weeks, there's always traffic. If you go to Lagos Island, we are the hub of the market in Lagos State. In fact, it is always jam-packed. So you now begin to wonder what's going on. We are in, I read something on Twitter when someone said Nigeria is the only country in recession, and you still see people going to party spraying money. So I think there is it's a mixed reaction to how this December is going to be. Of course, some won't come home, and most of them really want to come home. You know why? Because of the exchange rate.
It's a good time to have dollars.
A friend of mine that just got back from Europe, he was saying, just with 2,000 euro, I'm a millionaire, so we have enough money to spend. I was like, that's just the truth. Because they feel like, okay, with just $2,000, 2,000 euros, they can come and, do anyhow. Let me just use that word. So the question is, what we just need to begin to now ask ourselves is, how do we genuinely follow these restrictions? Because the truth is, government might not be able to clamp down on all of us, most especially the not too, how will I put it, the not too organized sector of the economy. Because the moment government start to, clamp on there, they'll begin to like a reaction like, we will hit now, we are daily earners, how do we go about it? So we need to be careful. Yeah, we'll make money. This December will be different. A lot of people won't go home the way it used to be. It will be different. So let us just live with it and let's see how we can build up in subsequent years.
But do you think there will be any long-term effects on like the entertainment industry? Or you think it's just going to be short-lived and we'll bounce back? There's
going to be a long-term effect because the truth is, I mentioned what I called alternative consumption strategy. Any business, any individual now needs to start thinking digital because if you don't do that, you'll be out of business. You understand? Yeah. So now, if you look at the way people consumed content on Netflix, it has increased this year alone. So which means some certain things will never return to normal. So we will encourage, is it the likes of the cinema owners? You need to now start finding a way to attract and maintain the present customer you have. Yeah. Things can never return to the same because that's just the way it is. Things will move. Thank God to technology. See, I always tell people, COVID-19 only exposed our inefficiency in Nigeria. Because technology itself is changing how we live, what we live, and the skills that are required, which means everything is changing. Entertainment is changing. I think last year I was at Ratau, Lagos State media, wherever. So I was to talk to them about the future of work. And I mentioned something that if there's any one of you here thinking about you want to be the president of Ratau in the next 5 years, you might have to rethink your vision. Okay. Because Ratau might not seem to exist again.
It might not be as relevant as you think it is right now.
We'll be doing this thing, but I might be in London and you'll be in Calabar and we'll continue Rubbin Minds.
Very true. The world has completely changed. We're going to take a very quick break because we want to end this on a very happy note. So please stay with us because we have a bit of a celebration. Don't go away. All right, welcome back. Yes, we're going to be closing the show now. Thank you very much. Merry Christmas to everyone. Thanks to Lipton and Noah for this beautiful, beautiful cake. And my guests are here to help us cut this beautiful cake. If we can just stretch our hands and let's sing, "We Wish You." Who has a good voice? Anybody? Not me. Well, thank you very much. We're going to sign off on this very happy note. See you again next Sunday. Have a great celebration this week. Please stay safe and stay at home because most places are closed. There's nowhere to go. Spend time with yourselves and your family, all right? Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Aha.